Hey guys, Tyler Ahring, Rage Cage Sports, bringing you guys the predictions for the AFC East this season. Man, this division got a huge shakeup this year and a lot of moving parts. So we're just going to start from the bottom and back our way into the top spot, who I think is going to win this division this year. The bottom spot shouldn't be that big a surprise, in my opinion. The New York Jets. Coming into the season, there was a little bit of hope there. They brought in some good wide receivers in Brandon Marshall, and they already had Eric Decker, but they started off with a bad recipe for me. New head coach and new offensive coordinator. Not to mention their starting quarterback got punched in the jaw in Geno Smith and will be out for the foreseeable future. He will return this year, but whether he gets that starting job back or not, I don't know. For fantasy purposes, though, Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to be the starter there, and he's kind of a gunslinger himself. So I wouldn't be surprised if Brandon Marshall's and Eric Decker's numbers are potentially enhanced because of that. Because I don't really have a lot of respect for Geno as a quarterback. He hasn't really proved much to me. And then Sheldon Richardson, their big defensive tackle, all-pro defensive tackle, he's going to be out for I don't know what the suspension is yet, or if it's even come down yet. But he had some off-season issues, and that's another story. But he's going to be out for a long time too. So I'm not expecting a whole lot out of the Jets. I got him going 4-12 on the year and just 2-4 in the division. For my next team, I got the Buffalo Bills. I think they're going to go 7-9, and they'll also be 2-4 in the division. Now, the Bills are a little bit interesting. The Bills' biggest issue is going to be that they don't have a quarterback. I mean, I like what they've done with the rest of the team. They brought in LaShawn McCoy. I'm a big Shady fan. And their wide receivers are actually really interesting. Second-year wide receiver Sammy Watkins, I think, is going to have another improved year and be good again. But aside from that, they brought back Robert Woods. He's a pretty good deep threat. And they brought in Percy Harvin. Percy Harvin's kind of a wild card. His mind is not totally in the game, in my opinion, but he's shown potential to be a star wide receiver. We just haven't seen it consistently enough or recently enough. So he's a wild card for me. I don't really know, but I do like what they've done on the offensive side. But my favorite thing that they did this offseason was after the guy that punched Geno Smith in the locker room, broke his jaw, got released by the Jets. My boy Rex Ryan, who's not my boy, I don't like Rex Ryan, but I thought it was hilarious that he went and picked that guy up. So that's pretty awesome. His name is like I-K. But anyways, they got a tough start to the season. They got to open up with Indianapolis, and I don't see them getting off to a great start. I don't see them being able to maintain a great season. They do have a very good defense, though. I'll give them the defense, but man, if they had a quarterback, I thought I could squeeze a few more wins in there if they had a decent quarterback. Now, for the number 2 team in the division, shout out to Kyle Bauer, because I know this is going to make his day that I went this route, but I'm going to have to go to the New England Patriots, not winning the division this year and finishing in the number 2 spot. I got them going 10-6, but going 4-2 in the division. It's an unfortunate year for them, and I don't think it's fair with the whole Tom Brady suspension, but I got them going 2-2 in the 4 games that Brady's slated to miss right now while Jimmy Garoppolo is in. And no offense to Jimmy Garoppolo, but I think he's got a chance to play well, and 2-2 in those games I think is very fair. But you got to look at who he's opening up against. We got Pittsburgh, and then they got to go to Buffalo, and then they got Jacksonville, and then they got to play at Dallas. And the sad thing is that whenever Brady's first game back, that's going to be at Indianapolis. That is not a gimme game by any means necessary. So I think they got a tough go to start out. A couple notes I have here on the Patriots is that one thing I do like, and I think that is going to help them, especially during this Garoppolo time, is the fact that Bill Belichick is their head coach. I know some people don't like him, but the guy's a mastermind. He's the longest coach with a team in the NFL. He's been there 16 years now, and their OC has been there for quite a while as well. They did lose some defense. They lost Darrelle Revis, Brandon Browner, Akeem Ayers. They also lost Shane Vereen. But, I attribute a lot of the Patriots' success in the last decade to Bill Belichick. So they're a team that I think finds a way. They'll go 10-6, 4-2. And if you want to tune in and see if I think they'll get a wild card spot, that'll be another video when I predict my wild cards. But that leaves me with the division winner, Kyle Bauer's Miami Dolphins. Yes, the Dolphins are going to take the AFC East this year. I got them going 11-5 and also going 4-2 in the division. So I got them in just one game better than the New England Patriots. The interesting thing about the Dolphins is I think early on in the season, people are going to be fired up about them. They opened the season with a really weak schedule. Let me read it off here to you. At Washington, at Jacksonville, at home against Buffalo, at home, well, actually in London against the Jets, and then we got a bye week, Tennessee, Houston, and then they have their first tough game, in my opinion, and that's New England on the road on a Thursday night, which who knows what could happen at that point. But I honestly, I see them starting off 6-0. I really do. And that means they're going to cool off towards the latter half of the season. But with that said, I do think the Patriots at the end of the year will be the better team. They won't have the better record, so whether or not they make the playoffs, that's another story. But I think they will be the better team. The Dolphins caught an easier schedule than the Patriots this year, and I believe that they will have more wins. Some interesting things about the Dolphins. Tannehill, as my cohort Cody Goggin mentioned in one of his previous videos, I think Tannehill's poised to go off this year. He's set up real well. Lamar Miller, I really like Lamar Miller. I think he's going to have a great season running the rock there in Miami. Their coach Joe Philbin, he's in his 4th season, so he's been around a while. I'm really not a fan of the first-year head coaches, as you can see with my Bills and my Jets picks. So in later videos, you'll see that plays a role in my thinking. And then the wide receiving core is actually really interesting in Miami, and I really like it. They got Jarvis Landry, who had a great season last year with Tannehill, but then they brought in 3 guys that I think could potentially be very big contributors to the team, and that's Kenny Stills. He came from New Orleans. He's a pretty good deep threat. Greg Jennings was from Green Bay, and they lost Mike Wallace, and they replaced him with Greg Jennings. Not really exactly the same style wide receiver, but I think it's kind of tit for tat. They didn't lose anything there. And they also drafted Devontae Parker, who is a rookie wide receiver, and I think he'll be able to be a decent contributor too, especially in that offense. And additionally, they brought in Jordan Cameron to play tight end. They lost Charles Clay, but you know what? I like Cameron. I think Cameron will be very well for them. He'll do very well there. So that's my picks. One thing I forgot to mention whenever I was talking about the Patriots, and I've been reading good things about him, that's Scott Chandler is a tight end there now, and he's playing opposite of Gronk. I could see Chandler doing pretty well. He did all right with Buffalo, caught some touchdowns in the past, and the Patriots really love to run 2 side end sets, and I saw something about Michael Humanawananui, the former Rams tight end, moving to fullback. So he might not have a ton of competition there. I don't know, but I think Chandler will be all right there. So those are my picks. Dolphins winning it, and I will be back at you guys tomorrow with another edition of division winners and my picks on that. So have a great day. Thanks for tuning in, and continue watching Rage Cage. Woo!